Message of Shri Datta Swami on his birthday, 24th February 2022. Recognizing the aim of human life. People are thinking of leading life in a free atmosphere without any discipline from religions. The same people will warn if their son admitted in a college behaves without discipline and lives in full freedom. Just like the student must realize the goal of his college life, which is to get a degree, everybody must realize the goal of human life, which cannot be simply living without any disturbance. In such a case, the student who is living in the college hostel with full peace without any responsibility must also have been appreciated. If you are unable to realize the goal of human life, it does not mean that there is no goal for human life. Unfortunately, in the present time, several modern philosophers are also supporting the view of full freedom in life without any destined goal. The concept of the existence of God and the effort to be put up to attain the grace of God in human life is completely destroyed by these present preachers in the present times. When the first step of recognizing the real goal of human life is absent, what to speak of putting effort to attain the grace of the real goal of human life? The modern philosophers who are teaching the concept of freedom to the extent of climax must advise their children to neglect the goal of their admission to institution teaching for IAS examination and live in the hostel with full freedom, enjoying as they like, since that is the philosophy preached by them to the society. Similarly, the Advaita philosophers also shall advise their children that they should think that they are already working as district collectors without even studying for IAS examinations, because these philosophers think that they are already God. In both cases, one can imagine that there is no responsibility, since they can live happily imagining that they have already attained the goal, since they are the very goals themselves. After all, the achievers of the real goal are happy with their hard earned achievements, living with happiness, which is the same happiness of these students living with imaginations without achieving the real goal. In the worldly affairs, it is quite possible that these two types of happiness, real and imaginary, can be one and the same, since both are relative reality. But in the case of achievement of God, these two types of happiness are very much different, which means real is real, absolute reality, and imaginary is imaginary. relative reality. Human psychology is always to avoid stress in continuous effort, and imagination of attainment of goal will solve this problem from the root. Such human psychology is exploited by these preachers. For the sake of the first step, which is the recognition of the real goal of human life, one shall think about the 50-50 probability of God, heaven, and hell. Since the entire space is not traveled by anybody, presence and absence of God, etc., can be taken based on equal probability. In such conditions of equal probability, the probability with the safest side must be selected. Assuming that God and hell are absent, if I go on doing sins, not believing in God, and if by chance God and hell exist, I am finished. If I believe in the existence of God and hell and live leading a pious spiritual life, even if God and hell are absent, there is no loss to me. In this case of probability, which is the absence of God and hell, I had a wonderful extra benefit during my life, and that is, I lived peacefully without any strain about the future probable punishments here and in hell. In this way, it is far, far better to follow spiritual life with faith in God, whatever may be the truth regarding the existence of God and hell. We need not settle in the spiritual line based on the above said 50-50 probability reasoning. We can even find out the 100% perfect line that favors spiritual life only. We need not argue that I am unable to show you the presence of hell, and you need not argue that you are unable to show the absence of hell, because for both of us this space of universe is infinite. In this case also, the same above said 50-50 probability will result. Hence, it is always better to find out the complete way of certainty of the concept. There are several miracles taking place in this world which are available to us for our naked eyes. For example, if you search YouTube videos, you can find a person by name Satyanarayana Baba sitting for the past 23 years in one place without food and water. Several people are surrounding him always. His address is near Raigad district in the state of Chhattisgarh. You can easily get this address from Google search. Why don't you go there and observe him thoroughly so that you can believe perfectly the existence of unimaginable power, and the possessor of such power called unimaginable God or Parabrahman, who is the source of unimaginable events called miracles. You can also find several videos containing the miracles of Shri Satya Sai Baba performed in public for further support of the concept. The true incidents of rebirth frequently appearing in this world and also the post-death experience of some people are certainly proving that there is something positive in the background of the spiritual line. By the above step, you have come to the stage of believing the existence of the unimaginable God. Now you can realize that God, who is beyond space and time and is unimaginable, exists really, and that He is the real source of these unimaginable events called miracles, about which we are unable to give a logical explanation. God, being the creator of all these souls, is the divine Father of the souls, who is always trying to guide the souls in the true spiritual path. This is the main reason for the exhibition of miracles here by God. By this realization, you have recognized the real goal of human life, and you must start in the true spiritual line to attain the grace of God. God cannot be captured by any type of business. Only real love can capture God. Real love means sacrifice for God in both theoretical and practical lines without aspiring for anything in return from God. If you take a road that is divided by a divider in one half part, you are having traffic moving from one side to the other side, and in other half part you are having traffic moving from the reverse side. You do not have traffic in one part of the road only moving simultaneously from both sides at the same time. This means that when you are serving the God like the one-way traffic going on in one half part of the road without aspiring anything in return from God, God will also naturally help you like the one-way traffic in reverse taking place in the other half part of the road. The output is that you must serve God with real love and without any influence of business. Then God will certainly help you with the same real love and without any influence of business. This means that you will be helped by God without any business account. The influence of business may take place in the case of souls, because the soul is not omnipotent and may fear that he or she may lose everything due to the service towards God. God need not fear like that because God is omnipotent with miraculous capacity and infinite wealth. When God's nature is understood, which is omnipotence, due to which any impossible thing can also be done just by His will, what is the necessity for you to doubt the character of God? One cheats the other in order to save for oneself. There is no need for God to save anything. And in such case, why does the soul not have full confidence on God and serve God without any aspiration in return, so that the soul can attain the eternal grace of God without any business account? Once the soul comes to the path of the spiritual line, one need not bother about any specific religion because all religions have the basic and very important commonality of the triad called God, heaven, and hell. Apart from this triad, the other religious details are useless. God is the fundamental foundation stone of belief, and this is the complete nivritti or spiritual line. In pravritti or worldly life, supporting justice that leads to heaven and opposing injustice that leads to hell constitute its whole essence. In essence, the entire constituents of religion and spirituality of any cultural unit in this world are these three only. In such a case, religion is only optional and any specific religion can't be mandatory. This point must bring universal spirituality to all the world religions, so that the theist of any religion is welcome, and the pitiable case is that of the atheist only.
Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that propagating divine spiritual knowledge pleases the Lord greatly. Jnana yajnena tenaham. Spiritual knowledge brings about permanent harmony and peace in the world. So join us in sharing this universal divine knowledge of Lord Datta and earn the highest grace of God.